Welcome back, everyone. Now that we have created the domain models and repositories, we're going to create our first service. So services are our business logic. It's the way that our controllers will communicate with our database via the services. So let's create our first service. Let's create another package called .services. And inside of this class, inside of this package, let's create a class called book service. And as always, we have to annotate it, and we are going to annotate with the service annotation. Beautiful. The first thing that we need to do is inject our book repository. So we're going to write private final book repository. So this is the book repository instance that we're going to use. So this variable will call all the methods that we have, for example, find all. Now we're going to use dependency injection to have this available for us. So book service, book repository. And you don't have to be this verbose. I am just being very, very explicit because this is the first time you've seen it. You could call this something like book repo to make it easier for you. So just make sure that if you know what these variables are, you could rename them as however you like. So this book repository equals to book repository. Awesome. Now we have our service set up. Let's import it. Now we're going to write methods to wrap our CRUD repository interface. So here I'll just copy and paste a few methods from our platform, and let's go over each one. Let's make sure we're importing all the dependencies that we need. So the first one is going to return all the books. So notice that we get a list of books. We call the book repository .find all, which in turn calls this method, which in turn finds all the books in our database. Next, we're going to call a book repository .save method to create a book. So remember, we have extended the CRUD repository. Therefore, we get all these CRUD methods for free. One of them is the .save method. And it does what it does. It does exactly what you think it does. It saves a book in a database. The save method will also be the one that you call to update a resource, like a book. This is how to retrieve a book. So the book repository .find by ID method, it returns an optional. An optional means that it could exist or not. So in the optional, if there's something present, return whatever it's present, which will be the book. Else, return no. So now that we have our book repository set up, we have to set up our controller to also call these methods. And I'll show you in the next video.